We just returned from a cruise around the Mediterranean, and for each of the 7 cities we visited, I created a Google Maps list of all of the key places everyone recommends going. So the next few videos will be travel prompt lists, one for each city. Some lists I was able to complete entirely, some of them had a couple missteps, and a few of them had some additions. But if you're new here, my name is Jennifer from Watkins Through Life, and I am on a challenge this year to follow 52 book prompts and countless other life prompts throughout the year. Our first stop was in Venice, and this is an absolutely gorgeous city full of beautiful walkways and bridges and not a single car. The architecture isn't really our preferred style, and a lot of the museums that we would have visited were either too small to be tempting or had too much flood damage from recent rain events to really make it onto our itinerary. Because of that, most of the sites we wanted to see were more of like a walk past it kind of ordeal. And that was really important because we did not have a lot of time in Venice. We arrived at the airport just after lunch, and then we had to leave the hotel just after breakfast. So with water taxi time to and from the airport added in there, it's like not a lot of time for one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Since our favorite sites were visible from the street though, we decided to just walk and wander the city. And we have no regrets. We tried to get lost, like everyone's like, oh, I got so lost in Venice. And when we tried to find specific places, yeah, it was difficult and we would get lost. But you know, when we were just like, let's go left, let's go right, let's go straight, randomly choosing directions, we went in a giant circle and ended up back in the plaza where we started. What's in the middle of that giant circle we walked? No idea. But it was beautiful, it was calming, my husband got a lot of really great pictures, so it was worth it. Our list of things to see had 9 items though. The first was the clock tower, second, St. Mark's Basilica, and third, the Doge's Palace, which are all really right next to each other. So that was really nice to just be able to go check, check, check. And then on our way there, we also passed by the Venice Theater, which was beautiful from the outside. The timing didn't quite line up to be able to go inside and tour, but I've heard it's gorgeous, and if we were there for longer, definitely would have seen a production there. As we left the area with St. Mark's Basilica, we went along the coast and we were able to see the Bridge of Sighs, an infamous sight. And when we walked in our giant circle on our way back towards the hotel, we did pass the Rialto Bridge, which was gorgeous, and it was completely unique. Kind of, unless you count Ponte Vecchio in Florence, but I feel like they're different enough that I don't count it. Most of the bridges that we saw were maybe like 6 feet wide with stairs on either ends, and this one was like the size of a building wide and went way higher and over the main canal. There were even like shops inside of it. It was so cool. Obviously for numbers 7 and 8, we never got over to Murano. We did drive past it in our water taxi, but I mean, like, I don't feel like that really counts. And yes, I know it probably would have been more efficient to see all of these sites in a straight line, take a water taxi to Murano, but again, our visit was short. We had just traveled for like 24 hours straight, and we didn't want to push ourselves too far on the first day. The other site that I wanted to see, and when we did our loop, we were so close. If we had just taken a short little turn one way instead of the other, we would have seen it. And I kind of kicked myself in the pants for this, but we didn't really have service and no access to a live map. So I think I can forgive myself. But it's the Palazzo Cantarini del Popolo. Sorry if my accent sucks. And it's this beautiful spiral staircase with gorgeous views from the top, and granted, I would not have gone up all the stairs because stairs are my worst enemy. My husband totally would have, and it would have been a great photo opportunity for him. There were 2 places though that I want to add on to this list. The first one came about because we were wandering the city, it was hot, it was summer, we were dehydrated, and we passed this beautiful little shop, and it's called ZACCA. I think Zacca, and it had gelato and smoothies and shakes and slushy things and all of these incredible flavors, and they spoke very nice English, which was helpful because they had very specialty flavors that I didn't know how to say. But we got the most perfect slushy that just felt amazing going down. I do love European Fanta, it tastes fabulous, but there's only so much of it I can have in a row. And I mean, we were drinking a lot of water, but again, sometimes you just need something other than water, right? So here's the ping for it. Definitely go, it's fabulous. The second place we found was a nice little plaza area. It wasn't a true plaza, but it was right across a tiny canal from a church where a choir was practicing. and there was these adorable little shops, and one of them was like a bookstore with bunches of old postcards and stamps on the outside. My father-in-law collects stamps, so it was really nice to be able to go through the old postcards and find some that were in good condition to be able to take home to him. And then there was some restaurants with outdoor seating, and it was just the perfect little slice of Venice. I believe it's called the Campo Santa Maria Nova. If you've been to Venice and you feel like I missed something, please leave it in the comments below so those who are planning their trip don't miss out like I did. The next video will be covering our port stop in Koper, Slovenia. And honestly, we didn't stay there, we toured basically the entire country. So we will see you then!